Happy Halloween! Welcome to Happy Hour with Whiskey and the World.
Happy Halloween! Welcome to Happy Hour. I'm Joe, this is Kat, and we're the hosts of the Whiskey and the World podcast. Today, we are going to be bringing to you Ole Smokey, Tennessee Salty Caramel Whiskey. Good Lord, that's a mouthful.
Well, it's, time for tricks and treats, and we wanted to do something kind of fun. I mean, this is sort of an ultimate fall whiskey.
Ultimate's not the word I would use, but it is definitely a fall whiskey.
Well, yeah, I like it. It's salty, it's caramel, so that's, by the way, what you're probably going to be tasting.
Yeah, lots of... Anyway, so this one comes in at about 30% alcohol by volume, which is a little bit lower, but you do tend to get a little bit lower alcohol by volume with flavored whiskeys, or 60 proof if you're spooky. So this guy runs about $20 a bottle. It's not very expensive. It is more of a novelty flavored whiskey. It's really, really good at mixed drinks. It's really good for, and what I think Kat is going to be covering today is batching cocktails, which is a good thing for parties. So if you're throwing a Halloween party, this is the kind of way you want to go. It gets you more bang for your buck and covers everybody that shows up to your Halloween shindig.
Yeah, well, it's also going to be good for a party because it's not super high alcohol content. People tend to be, drinking a lot at parties, so we want everyone to be safe. So this is going to add a little bit of flavor, add a little bit of alcohol, but not kind of too over the top and too overboard. In
terms of whiskeys itself, this is not a daily drinker. Does not stand alone. As I always say about great whiskeys, they should stand alone or not at all.
Well, I gotta say, I love the Ole Smokey brand. You've probably seen them before. They have the mason jar White Lightning, and they also have the mason jar, the moonshine,
and the one filled with the cherries, which is awesome.
Yeah, so you've probably seen that in the store. So this is kind of a departure for them. But they also have a mango habanero whiskey. They do a mud cream liqueur. They do a pumpkin spice cream. They have all kinds of things. They actually do a straight bourbon as well. So if you're looking for that. But yeah, caramel apple. So this is kind of like a fall brand.
The fun thing about Ole Smokey is it is a brand that knows what it is. It gets the party going, it keeps the party going, and that is where its place in the market lies, which is neat. Now, as you folks at home know, we do our rating system on a 1 through 10 basis. 1 through 5 being your taste and your smell, which is your overall whiskey experience, your tasting experience, and then we do the final 5 points in an overall presentation, packaging, story of the brand. So for me, I'm not super big on kitsch. I'm also not super big on batch cocktails. If there's a weird punch at the party or some sort of overly done sangria, I'm usually the person that stays away from it because I like my spirits to be unadulterated. For me, flavor-wise, this is very sugar forward. It punches you in the face with the caramel. It punches you in the face with the pecan. It's good for what it is, but flavor-wise is a 2.5 for me.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 3, and I'm kind of basing that on doesn't know what it is, and it's really good for what it is, so a solid 3 for me. I think I could do a little bit with less sugar, but I'm going to cut that later by adding in some other mixers as well.
It is a solid campfire brand.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things you bring to the campground, and the guys and the girls are all going to love it because it's easy to drink. Now, in terms of the packaging and presentation, again, this is a brand that knows who it is, which I think is really cool. That being said, it's not what I'm looking for in a whiskey, so I'm going to give it 2.5 in packaging and presentation and story, although I love that it is a kitschy brand that knows what it is and brings something important. It's not what I'm looking for in an everyday drinker.
So what's your score for presentation?
2.5. So overall, that gives me a 5.
Oh, all right. So 2.5 across the board for you. I'm going to give it a 3.8. I kind of love it. I think it would be kind of fun to bring to a party. And, I like that this brand totally has a sense of humor. You go onto their website and it's really fun and it's funny and it's a whole bunch of guys and they do what they do and are kind of unapologetic about it. And, I love that there's a brand out there who's willing to make a mango habanero whiskey or a salty caramel whiskey. Like, that's just fantastic. So 3.8 for me for that. And that's going to bring me to a 6.8.
So with Kat's score of a 6.8 and mine of a flat 5, that brings the Whiskey in the World score to a 5.9. With that being said, let's have a drink.
So today I'm going to talk a little bit about batching cocktails because we have all of those holidays coming up. So this is a great one that you can make for individual guests or ahead of time if you have a lot of guests. So because we're doing a hot drink today, we're going to be using a double-walled glass like you see here. So very simply, we're going to take 2 ounces of the Ole Smokey Salty Caramel Whiskey and add that straight to our glass. And then, since we're doing a hot drink, you're going to want to use a spoon. And the purpose of this is to absorb some of that heat from our hot apple cider that I have. So take your hot apple cider and very carefully pour it over the spoon. And go ahead and fill up your glass. And I'm going to do about 4 ounces to the 2 ounces of whiskey that I have. And let's take a little garnish of some apple slices. Now this is a beautiful holiday drink that all your guests will love.
Thanks for meeting us for our very special Halloween episode here on Happy Hour. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button and that notification bell so you guys can get all the latest from Whiskey in the World.
And if the goblins haven't made away with your wallet, head on over to patreon.com/whiskyintheworld and see what spooky things we have in store for you this week. Also, if you're interested in new episodes of Happy Hour, they come out every Wednesday on YouTube. And the podcast, Whiskey in the World, also comes out on Wednesday with new episodes on iTunes and SoundCloud. And remember, drinking is cool.
But staying alive to drink the next time is cooler.
So be careful.
And please drink responsibly.